The rain had been falling for hours. I remember staring at my phone, waiting for Clara's reply about dinner. When it finally buzzed, I smiled until I read the message. I miss you too. Last night felt right. I froze. The message wasn't meant for me. My name wasn't even there. I typed back, "Who is this for, Clara?" No reply. Just the 3 blinking dots, then nothing. Minutes passed. My reflection in the dark window looked like a stranger. My pulse was steady, too steady. I put on my jacket and whispered to myself, "Don't assume. Maybe it's nothing." But I already knew. By the time I reached Lucas's apartment, the rain had soaked through my coat. My hands shook, not from cold, but from the ache crawling through my chest. I rang the bell. His voice came through, muffled but familiar. "Yeah, 1 second." When he opened the door, he looked surprised. "Ethan? What are you doing here, man?" I stared past him. "Clara's here, isn't she?" He blinked. "What? No, why would she?" Then I heard her voice. "Lucas, who's there?" The world went silent. She stepped into view wearing his shirt. Her eyes widened. "Ethan." I didn't move. "So it's true." "Wait," she started. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me," I said quietly. "Tell me what I think." She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Lucas ran a hand through his hair. "It was a mistake, all right? We didn't plan this. It just happened." I let out a small laugh that sounded wrong even to me. "A mistake? That's what you call it?" Clara reached for me. "Ethan, please. We didn't mean to hurt you." I stepped back. "You didn't mean to get caught." The rain outside grew heavier, drowning out her sobs. Lucas muttered, "Come on, don't make this worse. We can talk tomorrow." "Tomorrow?" I said. "You think I'll wake up tomorrow and forget this?" He looked frustrated. "You don't understand, Ethan." "No," I whispered. "I understand too well. You took the only thing I never guarded." Neither of them spoke. Clara cried softly. Lucas stared at the floor. I could smell his cologne mixed with the perfume I once bought her. I turned toward the door. "You know what hurts most?" I said without looking back. "You didn't even try to lie better." "Ethan," she said, her voice breaking. "Don't," I interrupted. "If you say my name again, I might remember I loved you." I walked out into the rain. The cold hit me like a wall, but it felt cleaner than the air inside that apartment. I didn't run. I didn't scream. I just kept walking, step after step, until my shoes filled with water. Mark called me twice that night. I didn't answer. He left a message. "You okay, man? Heard something happened with Clara." I sat on a bench near the old park where she and I used to sit. The lights blurred through the rain. My phone buzzed again, this time a new message from her. "Please come back. I can explain." "Explain what? That my best friend was better company? That the promises we made were just noise?" I typed slowly, "You already did." Then I deleted it and turned off the phone. Somewhere between the sound of thunder and my heartbeat, I realized something strange. I wasn't angry. I was empty. A cab slowed near the curb. The driver asked, "You need a ride, sir?" I shook my head. "No, just needed to lose something first." He gave me a puzzled look, then drove off. When I finally reached home, everything felt foreign. Her mug on the counter, her sweater on the chair, her voice echoing in memory. I walked to the bathroom and stared at my reflection again. My eyes looked calm, too calm for someone who just lost everything. "I guess this is what breaking looks like," I whispered. I picked up my phone again, opened the gallery, and scrolled through photos of us. Her smile, my arm around her, Lucas laughing in the background. Then I deleted every one of them. It didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. The night stretched on, silent except for the rain against the glass. I lay on the couch, staring at the ceiling. The smell of her perfume lingered, faint but haunting. I closed my eyes and said to the dark, "You buried my trust tonight, Clara." The words came out flat, emotionless. But inside me something shifted, something sharp, alive, waiting. And when I rise again, I murmured, I won't be the same. The rain kept falling, but I wasn't cold anymore. I wasn't even sad, just awake. The morning after the storm, my phone wouldn't stop vibrating. Mark's name flashed again and again. I finally answered. Ethan? Jesus, man, I heard something. You heard right, I said. My voice didn't sound like mine. It's over. He hesitated. You sure you don't want to talk about it? I've already talked enough. I just need silence. He exhaled softly. You're scaring me a little. You sound too calm. Maybe calm is all that's left. I hung up. By noon, messages from Clara started coming, each one a new apology. It was a mistake. I didn't mean for you to find out that way. Please, Ethan, we can fix this. I didn't reply. I only stared at the screen until her words blurred. That evening, she called. Her voice cracked the second I answered. Ethan, please don't hang up. I'm listening, I said flatly. I know what you saw looked bad, but Lucas and I... Looked bad, I interrupted. You were wearing his shirt. She went quiet. It just happened, she whispered. So did heartbreak, I said. Do you want to explain that too? She started crying. I love you, Ethan. I swear I still love you. Then why did you touch him? It was a mistake. One night. I was lonely and you were always working. Stop, I said, my tone sharper. Don't use my work as your excuse. You didn't trip and fall into his arms. She sobbed louder. Please, don't hate me. I don't, I said. I just don't feel anything. I ended the call. For 3 days, I didn't leave the apartment. I watched the ceiling more than the clock. The world moved outside, but mine had stopped. Mark came over uninvited, holding 2 coffees. You look like hell, he said. Feels fitting, I replied. He sat beside me. You gonna tell me what happened? No, I said. But you already know. Lucas? I nodded once. Mark cursed under his breath. That snake. You trusted him with everything. Yeah, I said quietly, including her. He looked at me for a long time. You're not yelling, not breaking things. That's not normal. Nothing feels normal anymore. He leaned forward. Then do something about it. Don't just sit here and rot. Like what? I don't know, get up, breathe, exist again. Don't let them win twice. His words lingered after he left. Don't let them win twice. That night, I opened my laptop and deleted every photo, every message, every trace of her. My fingers didn't shake this time. By the end, my screen was empty. So was I. Rumors began spreading within days. People at work whispered, Did you hear? Ethan's girlfriend cheated with his best friend. I heard them, but I didn't react. Lucas texted me once. This got blown out of proportion. Let's talk, bro. I laughed. Bro, that word used to mean something. Now it was dirt in my mouth. I replied only one line. You buried something you can't dig up. He didn't respond. A week passed. I went back to work, moving like a ghost between meetings. Mark kept checking in. You sure you're okay? I'm breathing, I'd say. At night, though, my mind replayed every detail. The way they looked at me, the silence after, the taste of betrayal still fresh. But underneath the pain, something colder began to grow. I started writing again. Not love letters this time, but plans. Notes, observations, Lucas's company details, his projects, his weak spots. I wasn't angry anymore. I was organized. Mark noticed the shift. You're different, he said one evening. Maybe I buried the wrong man, I said. He frowned. Meaning? The part of me that believed in mercy. He studied me quietly. Just don't lose yourself, Ethan. I already did, I said softly. Now I'm building what's left. He didn't argue. He just nodded, as if he knew there was no point. A few nights later, Clara showed up at my door. Her eyes were red, her voice trembling. I just need to see you, she whispered. Why? I can't sleep. I can't eat. Please talk to me. Talk? I said. Like friends? I just need to explain. I stepped aside, letting her see the apartment, bare, cold, stripped of every trace of her. This used to be our home, she said softly. No, I said. It used to be my heart. You moved out of both. She started crying again. You're not the same person. I know, I said. You killed him. She covered her face. I'm sorry, Ethan. Sorry doesn't bring back the dead. When she left, I closed the door gently. No anger, no tears, just quiet finality. I looked out the window, the streetlights glowing against the wet pavement. They buried my trust, I thought, but I'll write my resurrection in their guilt. And for the first time since that night, I smiled. Small, hollow, but real. Not because I was healed. Because I finally had purpose. The first time I saw Isabella, the room went silent for me. Not because she was beautiful, though she was, but because her eyes looked tired in a way I understood too well. The event was one of those charity galas filled with fake smiles and louder egos. Lucas stood near the bar, laughing too easily, bragging about a project I designed, but he claimed as his own. Mark elbowed me. You okay seeing him here? I'm fine, I said. I didn't come for him. When Lucas spotted me, his grin widened. Ethan, man, long time. Didn't expect you here. Neither did I replied. He laughed too hard, then pulled a woman closer by the waist. You've met my wife, right? Isabella, she turned toward me, offering her hand. We've seen each other at events, but I don't think we've properly met. Her voice was soft, measured, but her fingers trembled slightly when I shook her hand. Ethan Vale, I said. Architect, occasionally mistaken for the quiet type. She smiled faintly. And occasionally correct? More often than I'd like to admit, Lucas cut in, still smirking. Ethan used to be my right hand. Best designer I know. Used to be? I asked lightly. He hesitated. Well, yeah. You know how things change. Sure, I said, meeting his eyes. Things do change. For a moment, the air between us was sharp. Isabella noticed. I'll go check on the auction list, she said quickly and walked off. Lucas leaned closer. You don't have to act cold, man. I told you it was a misunderstanding. Right, I said. A misunderstanding that lasted months. He frowned. You're still holding on to that? I smiled. You'd be surprised what I hold on to. Before he could answer, I walked away. I found Isabella near the art display, staring at a painting of a crumbling bridge. Beautiful, isn't it? I said. She glanced at me. It's sad. Something once strong now falling apart. Maybe it's rebuilding itself, I said. Sometimes destruction is the only way to start over. She tilted her head. That sounds rehearsed. Maybe I've had practice. She studied me quietly. You and Lucas were close, weren't you? Once, I said. Before I learned he preferred shortcuts. Her eyes flickered with recognition. You mean professionally? Among other things, she looked down at her drink. He's not an easy man to be with. But you already know that, don't you? I raised an eyebrow. You sound like someone who's tired of pretending. I've been tired for a long time, she whispered. We stood there for a few seconds, the noise of the crowd fading behind us. I didn't plan the next words. Lucas doesn't deserve you, she laughed softly. You don't even know me. I don't have to, I said. His character tells me enough. She turned to me, meeting my eyes for the first time fully. You talk like someone who's been betrayed. I almost smiled. Maybe I just talk like someone who learned to see clearly. Clarity can be dangerous, she said. So can blindness. For the first time that night, her smile was real, small, fragile, but real. Mark appeared behind me, whispering, You're playing with fire. Maybe, I said. But it's cold where I live now. After he left, Isabella asked quietly, Do you always hide behind metaphors? Only when the truth feels too heavy to hold. And what truth is that? That I came here to see how much he still had to lose. She didn't flinch. And what did you find? More than I expected, I said. We talked for almost an hour, about architecture, art, broken dreams, and second chances. She told me how she loved designing gardens, but gave it up because Lucas wanted her focused on real responsibilities. He likes control, she said. He calls it love. I nodded. I know that kind of love. It gives, then takes everything back with interest. She looked at me, curiosity softening her tone. You sound like someone who used to care too much. I did, I said. Now I just care carefully. There was silence for a while. Then she asked, if you could rebuild one thing, what would it be? Myself, I said before thinking. Her eyes warmed. Maybe you already are. Something about her voice made my chest tighten. I wasn't supposed to feel that. Not yet. When the lights dimmed for the closing speech, she turned to leave. It was nice talking to you, Ethan. You too, I said. You make polite conversations sound meaningful. She laughed quietly. Maybe that's my survival skill. As she walked away, I caught sight of Lucas watching us from across the room, suspicion in his stare. I didn't look away. When I finally stepped outside, the night air felt heavy but alive. I leaned against my car and whispered, so that's the woman behind his smile. I opened my phone and typed a note. Isabella Grant, emotional leverage. Intelligent, observant, wounded. Then I paused and deleted the last word. Wounded felt wrong. She's too kind to be collateral, I murmured, but the plan was already moving, like a wheel I'd set rolling without realizing how steep the hill was. I got in the car and drove away, the city lights flickering like quiet witnesses. I didn't look back. I told myself it was just business. Helping Isabella with her charity foundation was a perfect alibi, respectable, public, and detached. At least that's what I repeated every time her voice crossed my mind. Are you sure you're okay taking this on? She asked one morning, handing me the project brief. It's just logistics, I said. Funding structures, sponsorship layouts, nothing personal. She smiled. You make everything sound mechanical. That's how I survive. We met twice a week at her studio, bright walls, half-finished canvases, and the faint scent of oil paint. She'd talk about art like it was a language only the broken understood. Sometimes, she said, brushing color across a canvas, I think painting is just confession with prettier colors. Then you must have a lot to confess, I replied. She looked over her shoulder. You too, I think, I laughed softly. I don't paint. No, she said, but you hide it the same way I do. Her words lingered. Lucas joined one of our meetings once, uninvited, loud, pretending interest. So this is where all the planning happens? He asked, circling the room like a wolf in a suit. Mostly, I said, keeping my tone flat. He grinned. Good to see you and Isabella getting along. She's always been a people person. I'm learning, I said. He chuckled. Don't learn too much, Isabella looked up from her desk. Lucas, please. We're discussing sponsorships, not secrets. He gave her a look that carried both warning and ownership. Right. Just remember appearances matter. After he left, silence hung heavy. Does he always do that? I asked. She sighed. He likes to remind me who holds the cards. I nodded. Maybe it's time to reshuffle the deck. That sounds dangerous. So does staying quiet. She smiled faintly. You talk like someone who's already declared war. Maybe I have, I said. I just haven't told the enemy yet. She didn't ask who the enemy was. Maybe she already knew. A week later, she invited me to her gallery opening. I'd like you to see my latest collection, she said. It's called Facade. Fitting title, I said. We all wear them. Then come see mine, she whispered. The gallery buzzed with polite applause and shallow conversation. I found her near a painting, a mask split down the middle, half smiling, half cracked. Which half is you? I asked. Both, she said, depending on who's watching. And tonight? Tonight I'm both pretending and breaking. Lucas arrived late, all charm and champagne. He kissed her cheek, then turned to me. Ethan didn't expect to see you here again. You must really enjoy these events. I enjoy the art, I said. It tells the truth people won't. He laughed. You've always been poetic. Maybe that's why you never fit into corporate life. Maybe, I said. Or maybe I just couldn't stand the lies. His smile faltered for a second. Isabella touched his arm. Lucas, let's not do this here. He exhaled sharply. Relax, Bella, just small talk. She turned away, pretending to study another painting. When he left to greet a sponsor, she whispered, You shouldn't provoke him. I didn't, I said. He's already provoked by my existence. Still, she said softly, you're playing with fire. I know, I said, but I've been cold for too long. Later that night, we stood outside as guests drifted away. The city hummed around us. You didn't tell me you could handle people like him so easily, she said. I've had practice hiding what I feel. From him? From everyone. She leaned against the railing. Do you ever get tired of pretending? All the time? Then why keep doing it? Because honesty costs more than revenge pays. She looked at me, sadness shadowing her features. You scare me a little. Why? Because you look like someone who's already lost everything and doesn't mind losing more. I smiled faintly. Maybe that's what makes me useful. The wind picked up. She shivered, and without thinking, I offered my coat. Thanks, she said quietly. Don't thank me, I replied. I'm not doing it to be kind. Then why? To keep you from running away. Her laugh was soft but cracked at the edges. You're impossible. Only to those who lie, I said. And do I? Not yet. The air between us grew heavier, unspoken truths and quiet danger mixing like smoke. She whispered, I shouldn't feel safe with you. Do you? Yes, that word did something to me. Guilt, warmth, maybe both. She looked away. Lucas suspects you, you know. I counted on it. Then you should be careful. I am careful. That's why I'm still standing. Her eyes softened. You don't have to fight alone. I'm not, I said, meeting her gaze. You just don't know which side I'm on, she hesitated. Are you using me, Ethan? The question hit harder than I expected. I forced a small smile. Does it matter if I am? It does to me. Then no, I said. I'm not using you. It was a lie. Or maybe half a truth. When she finally walked to her car, I stood there, watching the taillights disappear into the night. Mark called a few minutes later. You're in too deep, aren't you? Define deep, I said. When she stops being a means to an end. I didn't answer. He sighed. You're playing a dangerous game. I know, I said quietly. But for the first time, I'm not sure who's wearing the mask anymore. I ended the call and looked at my reflection in a nearby window. Calm, composed, practiced. But behind the glass, I saw the cracks forming. I wasn't just stealing his wife's time, I whispered. I was stealing his peace, and maybe without realizing it, she was stealing mine. The first sign of Lucas's downfall wasn't a scandal. It was silence. People stopped returning his calls. Clients postponed meetings. And every delay had my fingerprints on it. Daniel handled most of the whispers. The files are in place, he said over the phone. And the source looks clean? I asked. Anonymous, as always. You're enjoying this too much. I'm not enjoying it, I said quietly. I'm balancing the scale, Daniel laughed. Sure, keep telling yourself that. By the end of the week, the cracks started showing. Lucas stormed into a meeting red-faced, papers trembling in his hands. Who leaked the supplier contracts? He barked at his staff. I was there, calm, watching from across the table. He glared at me. You knew about this, didn't you? I just manage logistics, Lucas, I said evenly. Maybe the problem's internal. His jaw tightened. You think I don't see what's happening? I smiled faintly. Then fix it. That night I found a message from Isabella. Can we talk? It's important. When I reached her house, the lights were dim. She sat on the couch holding a stack of photographs, her hands shaking. I shouldn't have called you, she said softly. You can call me any time, I replied. What happened? She placed the photos on the table. I looked down. Lucas and Clara, hotel rooms, smiles, lies frozen in glossy paper. My throat tightened. Where did you find these? In his old briefcase. He said he threw everything away after we got married. I guess that was another lie. She pressed a hand to her mouth. All these years? Was I just a placeholder? I didn't answer. She looked at me, eyes wet. You knew, didn't you? I hesitated. I suspected. And you didn't tell me? I thought you already did, I said. People like him. They don't change. They just hide better. Her voice cracked. How could I be so blind? Because you loved him, I said. And love makes fools of good people. She covered her face, shoulders trembling. I feel disgusting. Don't, I said, sitting beside her. He should? She shook her head. You sound like you hate him. I do, I whispered. But not for me anymore. She looked at me through tears. Then for who? For you, silence. Then she broke, quiet sobs, raw and human. I didn't move for a while. I just watched her fall apart in the same place I once did. When I finally spoke, my voice felt foreign.
Some people don't deserve loyalty, Isabella. She leaned into me, trembling.
I thought he was my forever. He was only your illusion, I said. Now you get to wake up. Her hand found mine, hesitant, searching. I don't want to be alone. You're not, I said. Don't say that unless you mean it. I mean it. She rested her head against my chest. Her tears soaked my shirt. Every heartbeat reminded me of the night Clara and Lucas stole my trust. But now the pain felt different, softer, mirrored. I hate him, she whispered. Good, I said. You're finally seeing what he really is. But I also hate myself. Don't, you didn't do this. I stayed. That's almost the same. No, I said. It's not. Staying means you hoped. And hope isn't weakness. She looked up, eyes glassy. Why do you understand me like this? Because I've been you, I said. I know what betrayal tastes like. It burns even when the fire's gone. She reached up, brushing my jaw with trembling fingers. Does it ever stop hurting? No, I said. You just stop bleeding where people can see. For a long time, neither of us spoke. The clock ticked softly, steady, cruel. Then she whispered, What if I can't forgive him? Then don't, I said. Forgiveness is just another word for letting them sleep at night. She gave a broken laugh. You sound so sure. I'm not sure, I said. I'm tired, she exhaled slowly. You're different when you're not pretending. I'm always pretending, I murmured. No, she said. Not right now. Her hand lingered against my chest, warm and fragile. Part of me wanted to pull away, to remember the plan, the reason, the revenge. But I didn't. She looked at me. Tell me something true. I met her eyes. He doesn't deserve your tears. And you? I don't deserve your trust, I said. Then why are you here? Because watching someone else's heart break makes mine hurt less. She flinched, but didn't let go. You're cruel. I warned you. Then why do I still feel safe with you? I don't know, I said honestly. Maybe because I understand your pain better than he ever could. She leaned closer. Ethan, what are we doing? Surviving, I said. For now. The moment stretched, fragile and dangerous. Her breath brushed my neck. My pulse stumbled. Then she whispered, He's coming home tomorrow. Then don't be here, I said. Where should I go? Anywhere he isn't, she nodded slowly. Will you help me? Always, her eyes softened. You say that like it means more than it should. Maybe it does. When I finally left, the night air hit me like confession. My hands trembled. Daniel called as I walked to my car. Lucas's investors are pulling out, he said. He's done. Good, I replied. Then why do you sound like you lost? I didn't answer. Because maybe I had. When I closed my eyes, all I saw was Isabella's tears, and the way they mirrored mine from months ago. I had wanted revenge. But tonight I only felt empathy, and that somehow was far more dangerous. Karma came quietly, in the form of canceled contracts and polite rejections. Lucas's empire didn't collapse overnight. It bled slowly, dollar by dollar, lie by lie. Daniel called one morning. He's panicking, he said. 2 investors pulled out today. The rest are nervous. Good, I said. You sound calm for someone watching his enemy drown. I've seen drowning before, I replied. It's only satisfying if they realize why it's happening. Daniel chuckled. You're darker than I thought. I'm just honest, I said. Finally. By midweek, the rumors spread. Mismanagement, fraud, internal leaks. Everyone whispered, no one confirmed. It was beautiful. At noon, my phone buzzed. Lucas. I almost didn't answer. But I wanted to hear it. The crack in his voice, the confusion that used to belong to me. Ethan, he said, breath heavy. We need to talk. About what? Don't play dumb. You know what? I leaned back in my chair. You'll have to be more specific. I know a lot of things. Cut the act, he snapped. You're behind this mess. The investors, Daniel, someone's feeding them lies. Lies? I asked softly. Or truths you've been ignoring? His voice shook. You're enjoying this, aren't you? I'm learning from the best, I said. You taught me how betrayal feels. I'm just returning the lesson. He went silent. For a moment, I heard only his breathing, ragged, angry, scared. You think this makes you better than me? He finally said. No, I said. Just cleaner. He hung up. I stared at my reflection in the window. Calm eyes, steady breath, no guilt. For the first time, I understood what control felt like. That evening, Clara called. The name flashing on my screen pulled me somewhere between disgust and indifference. I let it ring twice before answering. Ethan, she said, her voice breaking. Please don't hang up. I wasn't planning to. I heard about Lucas. He's losing everything. Just what? I asked. I wanted to say I'm sorry. For what? The affair? The lies? Or the text you sent me by mistake? All of it, she whispered. I ruined you. No, I said. You just showed me who I really was. She hesitated. Do you hate me? I closed my eyes. No. Then what do you feel? Nothing, I said quietly. And that's worse. She started crying. I didn't stop her. I miss who we were, she said. We were never real, I replied. You were just the lesson I needed to learn. Ethan, don't, I said sharply. You made your choice. Now live with it. I ended the call before she could answer. The silence afterward felt almost peaceful. Not warm, just still. Mark dropped by later that night, a bottle in hand. You look like someone who's already won, he said. Maybe I have, I replied. He poured 2 glasses. Then why do you sound empty? Because winning isn't the same as healing. He studied me. You ever think about letting it go? I did, I said. Then I remembered what they took from me. He sighed. And when Lucas is done? What then? I'll decide when the dust settles. He clinked his glass against mine. You're playing God, Ethan. No, I said. Just karma. The next morning, news broke that Lucas's main investor had withdrawn completely. The stock plummeted. Social media tore him apart. Cheater, fraud, coward. Each word felt like a quiet apology from the universe. That afternoon, I ran into him in the lobby of his own building. He looked smaller, eyes bloodshot, tie loose. Ethan, he said, blocking my path. You think this is funny? No, I said. Predictable. You think you're untouchable? No one is, I said. But you forgot that. He stepped closer, fists clenched. You destroyed everything I built. I smiled faintly. No, Lucas. You did that yourself. I just gave gravity a little help. You'll regret this. I already did, I said. Months ago. The day you betrayed me. He stared at me like he was trying to find the man he used to mock. But that man was gone. He whispered, You're not the Ethan I knew. Good, I said. That Ethan died the night you stole his world. He didn't speak again. He just walked past me, shoulders heavy, pride bleeding out with every step. When he was gone, I felt nothing. No triumph, no regret. Just silence. Later that night, Isabella called. Her voice was soft, steady. I heard what happened, she said. It's over, I replied. For him, maybe. What about you? I don't know, I said. You sound distant. I am, I said honestly. But not from you. She paused. You don't sound happy. I'm not, I said. Just finished, she whispered. You always sound like you're standing on ashes. Because I am, I said. And they feel like peace, After the call, I sat in the dark for a long time. The revenge, the whispers, the chaos. It all played out exactly as I planned.
Yet somewhere inside I felt hollow. I don't hate you, I murmured into the quiet. I just don't care anymore. And maybe that was worse, Ma, because hate burns, but emptiness endures.
When the photos went online, everything changed. Isabella's hand in mine, her smile faint, my eyes half hidden behind sunglasses. One picture was enough to set the city on fire. By noon, every gossip page had the same headline. Lucas's wife and his ex-partner, the affair that ruined two empires. Daniel called first. You planned this, didn't you? No, I said. But I'm not surprised, he laughed softly. You're trending, man. Not exactly a badge of honor. Lucas must be losing his mind. He's been losing it for a while, I said. This just made it public. When I hung up, I checked my phone again. Hundreds of messages, reporters, friends, strangers. Everyone suddenly cared about the man they once ignored. Then came the call I knew was coming. Lucas. Ethan, his voice cracked with fury. You're sleeping with my wife. I exhaled. You sound shocked. You bastard. After everything you did, I cut in. You cheated first. You lied first. Don't act like you're the victim now. You think this makes you better than me? No, I said. Just more honest about what I am. He cursed, breathing hard. You humiliated me. I just let the truth walk outside, I said. You're the one who left the door open. He went silent for a moment. She'll regret you. Maybe, I said quietly. But at least she'll know who she's regretting. He hung up. The echo of that silence stayed in my ear long after the line went dead. That evening, Isabella came to my apartment. No makeup, no jewelry, just herself, raw and quiet. They know, she said. I saw. Lucas called me. What did he say? That I ruined his life. I looked at her. Did you? She smiled sadly. Maybe I just exposed what was already broken. We sat in silence for a while. The weight between us wasn't guilt. It was something softer, almost peaceful. Do you regret it? She asked finally. Which part? Us. I hesitated. I wanted them to hurt, Lucas, Clara, all of them. But I looked at our joined hands. Why does your hand in mine feel like healing? She didn't speak right away. Her thumb brushed against mine. Maybe because revenge wasn't what you needed. Then what did I need? Peace, she said. And love. Even if you didn't think you deserved it, I looked away. You sound like someone who forgave too easily. I'm not forgiving you, she said gently. Not yet. Her tone made my chest tighten. Then why are you here? Because I know everything. I froze. Everything? She nodded. Your plan. The leaks. Daniel's help. The way you destroyed Lucas's company from the inside. I know, Ethan. I stared at her. And you're still sitting here? She leaned forward. Yes. Why? Because you broke him, not me. Her words hit harder than any accusation. You deserve peace, Ethan, not poison. I wanted to answer, but my throat tightened. For a long time, I said nothing. Finally, I whispered, You should hate me. I don't, she said. I pity you. That's worse. Maybe, she said. But it's honest, I laughed bitterly. I thought revenge would make me free. Did it? No, I said. It just made me someone else. She nodded slowly. That's what revenge does. It replaces who you were with who you think you need to be. We sat there, two broken people pretending we understood healing. She reached for my hand again. When I met you, I thought you were kind. I was. What happened? I believed in the wrong people. Her eyes softened. Then start believing in yourself again. I shook my head. It's not that simple. It never is, she said. But it's possible. Outside, flashes from the street reminded me that we were headlines now, not humans, just stories people consumed. Everyone thinks we're monsters, I said. Then let them, she replied. They don't know what we survived. You sound like you're defending me. I'm reminding you that you're still human. I leaned back, exhaling. I don't know how to be that anymore. She smiled faintly. Start by being honest with yourself. Silence stretched again. Then I asked, "And what about you? Do you still love him?" Her eyes glistened. I loved who he pretended to be, not who he became. And me? "I don't know," she said softly, "but I feel safe when I'm with you. That's something." I wanted to tell her I didn't deserve that, but the words stayed buried. Instead, I said, "Clara messaged me today." She blinked. What did she say? That she can't sleep. That she hates herself. "Will you reply?" "No," I said. "Because I finally understand. Some apologies aren't meant to be accepted." Isabella nodded slowly. "That's growth. Feels more like exhaustion." "Sometimes they're the same," she whispered. I looked at her then. Really looked. The woman sitting across from me wasn't my revenge. She was my reflection, hurt, haunted, healing. "You make it hard to hate anyone," I said. "Good," she replied. "Hate kills slowly." I ran a hand through my hair. "You should stay away from me." "Why?" "Because everything around me turns toxic." She smiled faintly. "Then maybe I'll be your antidote." Something in her tone disarmed me completely. For the first time in months, I didn't feel like a weapon. I felt seen. I whispered, "What if I don't deserve that?" "Deserve has nothing to do with it," she said. "You've already paid enough." Outside, the city buzzed with chaos, headlines screaming, names burning. But in that small apartment, the noise faded. Maybe karma had worn my face long enough. Maybe it was time to let it go. I looked at her hand still resting on mine. "I don't know who I am without the anger," I admitted. "Then start finding out," she said gently. "With me, if you'll let me." I swallowed hard. "You're serious?" "Completely. What if I hurt you too?" She smiled sadly. "Then I'll forgive you before you do." I almost laughed. "That's not how it works." "Maybe not," she said, standing. "But someone has to stop the cycle." She walked to the window, looking out at the city lights. "They can call us whatever they want," she said quietly. "But I know the truth." "What truth?" I asked. "That revenge didn't break you, Ethan. It revealed you." And for the first time, I didn't argue. The city was quieter than usual that morning. Even the wind felt tired. I stood outside Lucas's office building, watching security guards drag away boxes with his name on them. His empire, built on deceit, was finally dust. Lucas stumbled out behind them, drunk and hollow-eyed. He didn't even notice me at first. "Ethan," he slurred, his voice cracking. "You did this, didn't you?" I met his eyes. "You did this to yourself." He laughed bitterly, shoulders shaking. "You sound just like her." Isabella said the same thing before she left. "Maybe you should have listened." His laughter turned into coughing. "You wanted me destroyed, right? Well, here I am. Happy now?" I looked at him, the man who once called me brother. "Happy?" "No, just finished." He tried to step closer but almost tripped. "You think you're better than me now?" "No," I said quietly. "I just survived longer." He glared, eyes bloodshot. "You took everything from me." I shook my head. "No, Lucas, you handed it all away. I just watched." He pressed his hand to his face, shaking. "You win." I stared at him for a long moment. Then I whispered, "No, I survived." He didn't reply. His shoulders sagged, and for the first time he looked small, broken. He walked away, disappearing into the fog that swallowed the street. For a moment, I almost felt pity. But pity was dangerous. It could make you forget what they'd done. Later that evening, I got a message. "Clara. Can we talk? Just once?" I stared at the screen for a full minute before typing back. "There's nothing left to say." She replied instantly. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I never stopped." I turned off my phone. Some ghosts don't deserve words. I met Isabella at the old pier the next morning. The sky was painted in bruised shades of purple and gold. She stood by the railing, wind playing with her hair, her coat swaying gently. "Is it over?" she asked softly. "It is," I said. She looked out at the horizon. "Lucas called me last night. He sounded empty." "He's lost everything," I replied. "The company, the house, even the friends he bought." She exhaled, her breath forming a pale cloud in the morning chill. "He'll blame everyone but himself." "Probably." She turned toward me. "And you? Are you satisfied?" I didn't answer right away. The question sat heavy in the air. I thought I would be, I finally said. But standing here, it feels like I just dug my own grave next to his. Her eyes softened. You didn't. You just buried the pain he gave you. I gave a faint smile. Maybe, but it still feels like ashes in my hands. She stepped closer, her voice gentler. Then let it fall. Don't hold on to what's already burned. I'm not sure I know how, I admitted. She touched my arm lightly. Then start by not fighting it. Sometimes peace isn't found in winning, it's found in stopping. I looked at her hand resting on mine. You sound like someone who's been through this before. I have, she said. The day I realized I couldn't save him, I stopped trying. I had to save myself instead. And did you? She smiled faintly. I'm still learning. We sat down on the edge of the pier, legs dangling above the calm water. The world felt quieter here, as if it too was exhausted from watching people destroy each other. I used to dream of this, I said. Of peace? She asked. Of revenge, I corrected. I thought if I could just make him feel what I felt, I'd finally breathe again. And now? I'm breathing, I said. But it's not because he's broken, it's because I stopped being. She tilted her head. Being what? His victim. The silence that followed wasn't heavy. It was healing. Do you regret it? She asked after a while. I regret losing myself trying to hurt him, I said. But I don't regret surviving. She nodded, eyes glistening in the rising light. Then maybe that's enough. Maybe it is. The sun began to climb, spilling gold across the waves. Isabella leaned her head against my shoulder. You know, she whispered, you could start over. Do something for yourself now. Something that doesn't taste like pain. I chuckled softly. And what would that be? Live, she said simply. Really live. I looked at her, the wind brushing strands of her hair across my face. With you? She smiled, a real smile this time, not the practiced one I'd seen at parties. If you want. For the first time in years, I didn't feel the weight of yesterday pressing on me. The world, once sharp and cold, began to soften. Lucas was somewhere out there drowning in his own lies. Clara was probably still searching for closure in words that no longer mattered. And me, I was finally standing still. You ever think revenge changes us? I asked quietly. She nodded. It does, but so does forgiveness. The difference is what you do afterward. And what if I can't forgive? She smiled sadly. Then just live long enough to find a reason to. We stayed like that, side by side, watching the sky turn brighter. The water shimmered like melted glass. I never thanked you, I said. For what? For not hating me after everything. She shook her head. You didn't destroy me, Ethan, you freed me. Maybe that's what you were supposed to do all along. Her words settled in me like quiet truth. I turned to face the sunrise, the light washing over everything that once felt dark. Revenge didn't save me, I whispered, but it reminded me I was never weak. She reached for my hand, and this time, I didn't pull away. The past was gone. The ashes were behind us. And for the first time, the horizon didn't look like an ending.